Welcome back to this channel. Today we want to look at part 2 of the Trump visit to China. Now, following a high-stake 2.5-hour meeting at the Chinese Great Hall of the People, today the transactional realism of this summit has produced its first results. During an interview with Fox News, US President Donald Trump said that Xi Jinping has offered his help in the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz and has expressed that he would like to see the Strait of Hormuz being opened. Now, Secretary of State Pete Hegseth, the first Pentagon chief to join the presidential state visit in China since 1972, confirmed that Beijing has provided, and I quote, a high-level assurance that it will not send military equipment to Iran. In the world of geopolitics, this is a calculated neutrality that allows China to maintain its oil import while avoiding direct confrontation with the US. Keep in mind that Trump had previously indicated that the US do not need help from any nation regarding the Iran war. But I guess we can always count on Trump to change his mind whenever it suits him. Hashtag Trump's always chickens out. We can clearly see from this meeting, and even some few months before this meeting, that Donald Trump had toned down threats towards China. Previously, the threats included 1. Aggressive tariffs of up to 200% if China were to go into Taiwan. Number 2, appointment of hardliners China hawks to key position in his administration. Remember, in the US, there are 2 terms, the doves and the hawks. And the hawks, these are people that are nationalists who they vouch for aggressive policies towards countries that they consider their rivals or enemies like China. While the doves are politicians and leaders that vouch for cordial relationships with even their rivals and even the enemies. And remember, President Donald Trump ran his campaign on a dovish policies. But now we are seeing a change and a shift in this appointment of China hawks to key government positions in his administration. And number 3, phasing out the importation of essential goods from China to protect US industries. He had previously called for the complete restructuring of the Chinese economy, but it seems to me that he prefers stable relations between the 2 economic giants. After the meeting, Trump has referred to Xi as, I quote, a very good friend of mine, end of quote, even calling him the highly respected president of China, and I quote. A visit to the 15th century Temple of Heaven after the meeting had Trump saying this: in 2020, China and the US had a deal called, and I quote, Phase 1 deal. However, China failed to follow through on purchase commitment, and this led to the collapse of the deal. During the meeting, there was a consensus among these 2 nations for an establishment of a board of trade comprising of senior officials from both countries. Aim of the board includes stabilization of the trade relation and reduction of market surprises. The establishment of this board has just prevented the reignition of the trade war. A temporary truce which is currently in place was set to expire in November this year. A major win for the US delegation came also in form of a massive industrial boost. In an exclusive interview with Fox News, President Trump revealed that China has agreed to purchase 200 Boeing jets. On the Taiwan issue, China seems to have drawn a pretty big red line. Xi himself saying that if the Taiwan issue is not handled carefully, could lead to the collapse of the entire relationship. Secretary of State Marco Rubio hinted that there was a change of tone in conversation regarding Taiwan, and ironically, at the same time, insisting that US relations with Taiwan hasn't changed. Despite these tensions, the day ended on a note of sustained engagement. During the state banquet, President Trump officially invited Xi Jinping to the White House on 24th of September 2026. The invitation suggests that both leaders are betting on their personal rapport to stabilize global order.